Good morning, CrossFit Manitowoc. It's Coach Matt here. It's Sunday, and I'm giving you your brief for the workout on Monday. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was training styles, energy systems, and why we program the way that we program. In other words, why don't I just go out on the internet and look up like, ooh, that looks nasty, or that looks like a good one? And honestly, those types of workouts are fantastic. The ones that make you feel like your stomach's in your throat and you're gasping for breath, dripping with sweat. And there's a purpose for each of those types of workouts within the context of the whole program. So what's the point of doing, 3 sets of 5? What's the point of doing a pause at a challenging position and then some explosive work? Those different types of muscular expression yield different results in your body. So in other words, if you are always doing squats when your heart rate is high and when you are gasping for breath, dripping in sweat, you will limit the overall, the upper end of the strength work that you can generate, or the strength adaptation that you can generate in the muscles, because your muscles are exhausted of energy. So the converse is also true. If you rest a super long period of time in between your sets, then you will maximize the amount of work that you can put out in each of the sets in terms of like the strength or the weight that you can lift, right? So these things have varying purposes within the context of a program, and it's more of an example of like, I want to show you the programming that I put out for you guys, even when all you have is a single dumbbell. It's not random. It's not just like shoot at the wall and see what you can do and like, hey, let's just throw these things at them because we haven't done it in 3 or 4 days, right? There is a method to the madness. In fact, I would call it a theme or a purpose to our programming that enables you to get the best overall results possible if you follow the program. So in other words, what I would like to see when people post their workouts is think about how you can take the intent of the programming for the day and adapt it to the individual equipment that you have. And some of the best emails that I get on a day-to-day basis is like, hey Matt, all I have is a sandbag. How do I do this workout? And those are like, hey, I will write you a specific adaptation for exactly what we're doing on the day of that workout that applies to what the equipment that you have. Or like, I have trouble in this position and here's how to adapt it, right? And those are some of the ways that we can continue to make gains and make progress in the austere environments that we find ourselves right now. All right, and I want to talk about, here's the strength work for tomorrow. This is Mondays. We are going to do squat strength. And the way we're going to do this is alternating an isometric position, which is holding in a challenging position, with either an explosive or a challenging movement, right? So the first one is a goblet hold for 30 seconds, and then immediately into 8 jumping lunges, and then a static lunge, and immediately into 8 jumping air squats, and then a forced 30-second rest, right? Take like 5 or 6 big giant breaths, and then you're picking up something heavy and you're doing it for 5 reps of a front squat. Ideally, I would like this front squat to be a different and heavier weight than your goblet hold, right? So if you have like a 20-pound dumbbell for the goblet hold and then say a 50-pound sandbag, do that for the front squats. Challenge yourself. It's only 5 reps, so make sure those 5 reps are relatively challenging when you do it. And then as you're working your way through this, the goblet hold, we're just holding an object. Hey, look what I have here, a cleaning bottle. I'm just holding it in that bottom of the squat position. Make sure we're not resting or hunching in that position when we do that goblet hold, right? You want to be active, like approximately at the parallel position with something in a challenging position. So I'm not just working my legs when I'm doing that, I'm working my upper back muscles, my arms, my chest, my triceps, everything holding that posture in that low position, okay? And then when we jump, I'm not just trying to clear the ground, I'm trying to project myself as high up into the air as possible. And the intent here is that I am trying to get you to have the adaptation from your effort in it, as opposed to me just programming 500 reps of the same exercise, right? One of the 2 of those is going to get you a better type 2 muscle fiber adaptation, and the other one is just going to make you really tired. And one of the coaches that I follow, his name's Tony Holler. He's a sprint coach in Illinois, and one of his favorite lines, or one of my favorite lines of his, is that any idiot can get you tired, but it takes a coach to make you faster. It takes a coach to make you a more powerful athlete, and that's what we're trying to do here, as opposed to just getting you tired, right? All right, so when you finish that, we're gonna rest after you finish those 5 heavy front squats until you feel fully recovered, and then go into that next 30-second goblet hold. And ideally, I want this whole thing to take probably 30, 35 minutes. This is a long strength set. Okay, so after that, we are gonna do a short cash out. This is like short, high intensity. It's a ladder starting with 2s, 4s, and 6s with a goblet squat. You can use that same object you use for the goblet hold, and then a burpee over the object. I would love to see some jumps on this as opposed to just stepping over. Let's see a little hop, right? Make your body move off the ground. There's value in that. And I think I've told some of you guys before, one of the old Russian adages that we live by is when you stop jumping, you start dying, right? That is the quickest path to getting your body to shut down its ability to transmit and receive force. And that is, your life is based on transmitting and receiving force. You think of a thing that you do during the day that doesn't involve transmitting and receiving force, and those are probably the sedentary activities that are driving you towards like the waterfall, and we're trying to paddle upstream as much as we can. All right, your warm-up is pretty simple. Jumping jacks, duck walk swivels, duck walk swivel. I just want you to be in that duck position, and I want you swiveling around. So one swivel is gonna be hopping with one foot and going 90 degrees to the left, and then you can hop with the other foot and go 90 degrees to the right. Okay, and do that 4 times. Mountain climbers and scat push-ups. Get through that 3 times. Make sure you're sweating and your hips and your shoulders have moved through the full range of motion by the time you finish that warm-up. In the cool down today, we will have Colleen's mobility and rehab work. She's working on some more specialized movements that will help to restore function of spine, hips, knees, shoulders, and so just stay tuned to the video for that. And then additionally, I want to do some quad knee care, right? So that means tissue work on the quads in the front, the quads on the inner side of the leg, the IT band on the outside of the leg, the hip up a little bit higher, and then you can go below the knee to the calf, the anterior tibialis, which is our shin splint muscle on the front. Take care of the muscles and the tendons above and below the knee. Restore the normal function of the knee, and we will make our knees feel lots better. All right, hope you guys have a great day. Try to stick with it. Send me some pictures and videos, and we'll see you tomorrow.